What's been popping with you today, fam?
Man, dude, we've been having a wild weekend. We kicked streams yesterday. I was up till like 5, 6 a.m. last night. Then I woke up again around 8, went to brunch, got stuff ready, and now we popped for the show. You know, me and you've been trying to cook this up for like a couple days now. We got everything organized, got links on the back end sent, got things produced. So this is like a high level production right now. We got a real production going on right now. I'm happy. I'm humbled and blessed. And I just can't wait to see how we're going to manifest this stream today. How about you, man? What's going on this weekend with you, man?
And I've been good, man. Just working out, creating content, getting to the bag. That's all I've been doing. It's been a simple week. You know what I'm saying? Spending time with wifey and shit. And
Absolutely.
just looking at the landscape of the culture, man. It been so much shit going on that is actually kind of crazy to me, fam. You know, the Fat Joe incident, Trump and Iran, you know what I'm saying? Handling business in Iran.
Absolutely. And the Trump thing, not to cut you off or anything, but the Trump situation for me, before we get on it, I think a lot of people, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's very controversial because it's a bipartisan issue. It's a humanitarian issue. And we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. But it's a lot deeper than Democrats and Republicans.
Most definitely. Let me go ahead and play the clip of him responding to the U.S. airstrike bombing Iran today, and we're just gonna get into it because I gotta take an interesting perspective on this also. Let's go.
A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated.
You know, Florida, I just wanted to say, like last week when the military parade was going on, fam, I knew something was about to happen. Like I just felt it, you know, pause. But I just knew something was going on because they was displaying, you know what I'm saying, all the military stuff and everything. And I was just like, man, something is about to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen, but I said something is about to happen, fam. I think you're on mute, fam.
I took the military parade like when we used to be kids and like we used to get like an Air Jordan commercial or we used to get like a Nike commercial that was super inspirational and you'd be like, damn, dog, I'm about to go outside and hoop. That's how the military parade felt like to Donald Trump. It felt like a big ass Nike commercial for Donald Trump, like the military, and like he got hyped. It was like, yeah, dog, we got to pop some of these toys up. We got to use some of this shit.
Yeah.
And my problem with actually, go ahead and cook. Go ahead and continue to cook. I don't want to like jump into it real quick, but just go ahead and tell me like what you think about where we are with the Iran strikes. First off, like what are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts is that, you know, I feel like it might have been necessary, fam.
Yeah,
because we didn't need them people. Well, you know, hold on. Let me back it up. Why are we so consumed with protecting Israel? Why is it so necessary that we protect Israel? Anything they do, it's like they always in some shit and they stay in some shit and they feel like they got the protection of the United States. So they always involved in some shit. And then we got to come in as a country and our leadership got to come clean up shit for them all the time or give them some weapons or anything. What do they got? Do they got some sort of information or something on America? Why is we so like connected with Israel?
Well, let me break it down to you like this, right? There's a super PAC group called AIPAC. It is an Israel-led super PAC group where not only do they fund politicians, they create their own politicians through grassroots. Or if they see the potential in somebody that they like, say it's a young local counselor, somebody who's on the up and coming, They will go ahead and fund their pockets and fund their campaigns. Say we play sports and Nike is finding the young talent and putting them in Nike sponsorships, giving them shoes and everything. Now you're a Nike athlete, right? But when you're a Nike athlete and you accept the level of sponsorships or donations, you have to acquiesce to the people who are funding you. So what AIPAC has done across the country is not only target grassroots on both sides, but they started funding politicians on both sides of the ball. And when you do that, they start sending these politicians to Israel. And then we start sending these politicians to Israel. We all know when it comes to politics and some of these parties and these things that go on, just like anything else in life, people can't trust you unless they have a little dirt on you. So when it comes to these political places and it comes to these underground Washington, D.C. soirees and stuff, right? Compare it to like a Diddy party. Compare it to some of these music industry parties where a lot of debauchery is taking place. But while this debauchery is taking place, there's double agents in there that are using what you're doing as blackmail, knowing that you are kind of only doing this, you can get into certain doors and be on certain platforms. But you can't be in these certain doors, certain platforms, unless we have certain tapes on you. You have done certain things that if you go against AIPAC and the Israeli interest, we can put this on the Summer Jam screen, right? Blackmail you and ruin your career. So when we talk about the Donald Trumps of the world, we talk about the Barack Obamas of the world, the Joe Bidens of the world, President Bush of the world. You have these people that pre-campaign come in here with good intentions on how to do this, how to change the world, and how to adjust things for America, right? And then once they get in office, you have these people that come in these black ties and these dark blue ties and their briefcases, and they start to explain to you how the corporation of America is going to be ran. And understand that you are just a face and you are the jump man for the logo that is not even Nike, that's not even Jordan. It is Nike. You're just the jump man.
Yeah.
And a jump man don't move unless we put out some shoes. So with you, if you want to buck the system, you can. But guess where you're going to be? In the backseat with JFK, getting your head blown off on national TV.
So it's impossible for you to buck the system. I'm sorry for slowing you down from cooking because you're cooking already. But what's crazy to me, though, is that so the UN has no power because isn't Iran a part of the UN with America and Israel?
You got to understand. Even if they are, the UN is more of a Western protection for America, the United Kingdom. Like this isn't the UN isn't really effective. Like if the UN was effective, they would stop things going on in Gaza. If the UN was effective, they would have stopped the murder in the Congo. They would have stopped the apartheid in South Africa. The UN does not protect anybody, and they have no power. The UN is just a place for countries like Ukraine, for the smaller countries to get American backing or to get first world assets and military assessors and military bases, like because a lot of these countries don't have their own nukes. America has set up bases to put American nukes in a lot of these countries that are tied to the UN. So you can't really go to Finland and blow them up. You can't go to Ukraine. You can't go to certain places and fight because they have American nuclear missiles and military bases that are spying on these countries, but in exchange for backup in case some of these other people like China, like Iran, like Russia want to bully you or want to take over.
Yeah.
We're here to lend protection in exchange for surveillance.
That's crazy to me how you put that together. It seemed like you used a similar way of how Diddy them used the tapes and everything like that to be able to have something against somebody to be able to use it against you. That's why you have to protect them. It's crazy to me.
Because look at Pam Bondi, look at Tulsi Gabbard, look at Kash Patel, look at these people that before they got put in office, they were on these conspiracy theory podcasts, and we're about to open up JFK files. Iran doesn't have any nuclear weapons. They will sit, even Trump, they will come on camera on Thursday and say the sky is blue, planes are flying, and it is 3:00. 24 hours later, they come say the sky's in the ocean, pigs are flying, and I am a dog. And you're looking like, how did you, like Tulsi Gabbard came on 8-9 weeks ago in front of Congress and said, through our intel, right? As Department of Defense, all this other stuff, and as a former military person, like Tulsi Gabbard, as an intelligence agency, the head of it came out and said, Iran does not have any nuclear weapons or any form of developing nukes, right? Trump came out the last 2 weeks and said she doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm not listening to her. Basically said F the person that I personally appointed to this position, right?
That's crazy.
And Tulsi Gabbard came out this weekend and said, yeah, Iran does have nukes. Do what you got to do. So what happened between the research you did, Trump saying we weren't going to bomb Israel, bomb Iran, 72 hours go by, and everybody's on the bomb Iran tour? And what did they show you guys?
Everybody supporting it. And then he said it was going to be within a 2-week span 2 days ago. And then in 2 days, he got 125 planes in the air. And they just nuking up shit. They just dropping bombs on the nuclear sites. It's crazy to me, fam. And I just, to me, I don't want to see war, but my interest is in America first. But I feel like, man, we got to stay out of war. Like Trump ran on getting the finances back. If we go to war, or if we have to go to war, people going to be suffering in our country. And that's just what my interest is. I don't want to see my people financially suffering and all that old type shit.
Right. And not only that, this is the same thing we did in Iraq, same thing we did in Afghanistan, same thing we did in Syria, same thing we did in all these countries where we want to destabilize, overthrow these governments and put puppets in place and saying this is what we call it, liberty or liberation. I forgot the word I'm looking for. But what I'm saying is America does not need to be fighting wars and proxy wars for other nations and other small countries and sending bodies over to these places like Ukraine or Israel while our roads are decaying, while our streets are filled with homeless people, while our cities are being flooded with so many immigrants and migrants and illegal aliens that 5 to 8 years ago, me and you can have a job, right? And we like, you know what? I'm about to go on vacation next month. Let me set up a DoorDash account. Let me set up an Uber Eats account, right? So we can actually make some money. Now it's a bunch of illegal aliens using one account, glitching the system. And now those jobs, those Popeyes, McDonald's jobs, those jobs where like the kids can go get a job coming out, of high school. The DoorDash is the ones where, us as adults can be like, what, I need to get a little more paper on the side. I got to hustle up. Yeah. These things are gone. So at a point, what has actually hemorrhaging the economy is those I got to make ends meet jobs and hustles that used to be American things have now turned into like immigrant and illegal alien work. So we can't, they say the economy's fucked up. We can't make ends meet because you have taken out the jobs, the stopgap positions to where, okay, you're unemployed for 4 to 5 months until you get another job. But at that time, you running DoorDash and Uber Eats and Grubhub up. But now you can't do that.
I seen that too. I don't know what app that is or how they doing that or whatever though. But I seen where they might not have nothing in the system, where they don't have no address or no social security number or whatever though. But they using something to be able to put the information in DoorDash and Uber and Lyft and Grubhub and all of those apps. And now they getting those jobs and they running it up.
Running it up. And it's like, dude, and I always say this, bro, like when it comes down to America, bro, like y'all aren't providing us a way to eat. You're not providing a way to get jobs. You're slashing like Medicaid. You're trying to slash SNAP. You know what I'm saying? It's like you say you want to make America first, but the people that are barely surviving, you're cutting the knees off on these guys. You know what I'm saying? You are pretty much making sure that we are going to go into an economic collapse.
Yeah, that's true. We on the last time we collaborated, we talked about the migrant situation and things going on in LA. I want to read something to you, and I want you to tell me what your thoughts is about this, what I'm about to read. This is from Donald Trump. He said, too many non-working holidays in America. It is costing our country billions of dollars. To keep all of the businesses closed, these workers don't want it either. Soon we'll end up having a holiday for every once working day of the year. It must change if we are going to make America great again. And this was on Juneteenth, him talking about billions of dollars being lost and non-working holidays and all of that old type of behavior. Fam, what's your thoughts about what I just read to you, Donald Trump's post in on his app, True Social?
I feel like that was a racial undertone that spoke to a certain part of his base, number one. And number two, what I hate the most about what Donald Trump said, and it's like a lot of these Amazon, BlackRock, Elon Musk, a lot of these oligarch billionaire CEOs are telling Americans who have the shortest vacation time of any first world country, have the least benefits of any first world country, have the least recurring leave of any first world country, that we need to work harder, we need to work more. And you didn't say anything about raising the minimum wage. You say anything about closing the gap to make things affordable housing, where back in our days, our parents could buy a 2-bedroom house on the good side of town for $89,000 in 1992 and pay $600 mortgage, $300 car payment, and still get us here Georgia at the end of the day. Now, same age as our parents, I'm making more money than my mom, dad, if times the both of them at my age, and I have to live in an apartment.
Yeah.
What America has done, because we are so hyper capitalistic, was 30 years ago, you had a house, but guess how much a phone costs, how much a computer costs, how much a CD player costs, a video game console costs just as much as your rent.
Yeah.
Everybody had a house, but not everybody had a video game console. Not everybody had cable. Not everybody had a computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of hyper consumerism, they said, you know what? We're going to drop the cost of all these toys. So now you got your phone, your laptop, your MacBook, you got all these gadgets, but we're going to put you in a box. So we've traded shelter for material.
That's crazy that you say that, man, because, man, here in Charlotte, man, a home is $500,000 for anything. It could be old, used, new construction or whatever. It's $500,000. But you can go buy a 100-inch TV for $300 at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Or you can get any type of entertainment gadgets for the low. But my take on that too, though, Florida Boy J, is that everybody was working. Who is he talking about? The federal employees? Is he being like, he need to be specific? Is he talking about the federal employees was off? Because where I'm located, folks was at work, fam.
You know what's the sickest thing about Juneteenth to me? Why I just wish it was an unofficial holiday, because what making Juneteenth a federal holiday, the reason why it's such a sick joke is because who usually has the jobs that get off on federal holidays? Predominantly white people, predominantly corporate America. Who doesn't get holidays off? People who work in fast food, people who work in service and hospitality. Who are those people? Black Americans. So so the sickest part about Juneteenth is the only day where only black people are working is Juneteenth. White people, think about how crazy that is. White people are the only people who get off on Juneteenth.
They get the day off to celebrate a holiday that we supposed to be celebrating. That's ridiculous.
Name me how many niggas you know on Juneteenth was off, and name me how many white people you knew was off on Juneteenth.
I don't know nobody that was off, to be honest with you, fam. But let's read a couple of comments, fam, and move the conversation forward, though. So a lot of people tapping in from your channel too, man. And
yes, sir. Black Bane. Yeah, Black Bane says federal employees work their asses off. I'm so tired of them being demonized by the political class. That's a fact, man. That's a fact.
He also left another comment. He said Americans work harder per capita more than almost any country on earth, even in third world countries. They work maybe 6 to 8 hours a day. That is true. They work 30-hour weeks, and then some of them have months off. Like I heard a statistic about Poland to where they work 9 months out the year, then they have 3 months off, and they work 30-hour work weeks, 4 days a week, and all of that. But it's the economy is based around that also, though.
But you know what it is too? When you have like ethno states where the majority of the country is one race,
you
kind of notice it's a lot easier for free healthcare, lax work weeks, because they all have a collective of like, we're all one people. Any other population, like if you're 90% like Finland, some of these places where these lax work weeks, right? They are in majority white, or even in China, these people, it's an ethno state where it's not a blended, it's not like America, it's not like a Europe, you know what I'm saying? Where they can make things easier for the majority and for the mass citizens because they're all alike. We know in America, college costs as much as a hamburger combo meal until black people start going to college. We know healthcare was supposed to be free until black people needed healthcare. Now you got to pay. We know you could have just became a lawyer until black people became a lawyer. Now we got to take a bar exam.
Yeah.
So they'll make anything with the reason why America and we like, why do we got to work this hard? This is everything is always going to be rooted down to racism. Everything's going to be rooted down to it's fair. Once black people start getting a piece of the table, now we got to change the board.
I got something to ask you too, Florida boy. I don't mean to stop you from cooking.
No. I love you. I thank you for stopping me because Star tells me all the time, slow down, pause. So go ahead, man. You got it.
You brought this thought process to my mind, and I want to know what's monetized more. Just to bring attention, and in the comment section, answer this question: what's monetized more, God's resources or racism?
Oh, racism. Racism.
More than God's resources?
Absolutely. Racism. We in America, but racism move faster than crack. Racism move faster than crack. You know me and you know we got on here right now. We had a table full of butter biscuits and got on our Jason Whitlock. We be sponsored right now.
So okay, yeah, that's true. That's true. We would get a bankroll. But what's crazy? Okay, so let's break it down though for a second, just for a second before we get to because we got some foolishness we got to attend to too though. Right. So racism, that'll be the prison industrial system. Help me out. Entertainment industry.
Political, the job market, everything in America is monetized through racism. Nobody's selling religion. People love the idea of God after you get done sinning. People love the idea of Jesus and the Holy Spirit or the Quran or any type of religious belief, Buddha. We love the idea of it. We do not love the reality of living in the spirit. People love projecting perfection, but not achieving perfection. So it's way easier hating. That's why I'm the supreme hater. I'm like the Ayatollah of the haters. I'm a supreme 5-star first class hater because I'm not coming in. America's not built on love. I'm not coming on my podcast loving on mother. I'm coming on here hating. You know why? Because hate moves faster than love. It's not I'm a hateful person. I understand how the dollar moves in this country. So I'm going to move as the dollar moves. Welcome to the party. It's called America. Get in and get out.
Okay, so now we done address the racism piece of the monetization. God's who's to say that is God's resources at the end of the day also though. But that's if we're gonna say it's God's resources, that's water, that's oil. Or am I capping? Or I'm tripping. Water.
Listen, you're right. But the reason why I say it's race because guess what? All of God's resources are used
you cooking
for racism. Every resource God has put on this earth has been deconstructed and manipulated and mutated into racial oppressive tools. So I can't sit here and say the love of Jesus gave me this water because if I go to Vegas, this $3 water bottle, which is God's water, which is for free. Water is free for me and you. I go to Vegas, this $2 water bottle is $12. God didn't tell me I need to pay $12 for water. Why are we quote Orlando Brown? Why am I going to the grocery store buying fruit that grows on free trees? And why am I buying meat from animals that are just walking around? Why are there food deserts when the things that we eat are produced off of God's will and his spirit and his manifest? God manifests all these tools that have been monetized, capitalized to sell back to God's people. And depending on the race that owns these products, they will deprive you. Look at what's happening in Gaza. They're depriving people of God's resources because the people with the resources feel like they're above you and they're the chosen ones. So anything that is used as a resource from the Holy Spirit and the Lord will be manufactured and reconstructed and represented to you in a racial tonality for you to understand that we do have the Spirit of the Lord, but we're living in a wicked land.
Without racism, God's resources wouldn't be monetized. They wouldn't be monetizable without that you simplified it for me. I know you was kicking shit. You kicked a lot of game on her, but you simplified it for me. Without racism, God's resources wouldn't be simplified. Let's talk to the comment section for a minute, man, and then we can get into some of the foolishness that's been going on with Jim Jones and Fat Joe. And
you seen Jim Jones and you see Shannon Sharp staying on business yesterday?
We're gonna start after we read the comments. That's how we're gonna start the show off then.
All right,
with foolishness. So Black McBain said, without racism, capitalism does not exist. From an economic standpoint, it cannot exist without a permanent, cheap, or free labor underclass. It's called a substitute God. Ooh. Because he said good, but a substitute God. I think that's what he meant.
Yeah.
Rendered under Caesar. You got to help me understand that. I don't know what that means, man. I'm here to learn.
I think render under Caesar, if I'm trying to see what he was saying, I think when you look at Caesar back in, Roman ancient civilization times, how he was a dictator, how he used to run things, how, they even double crossed him at the end of the day. But I think even when you say render under Caesar, I think about Rome. I think about the Roman Empire and how when they were in the middle of what we're going through in America, like an economic downturn, destruction, enemies closing in, you know what they did? They gave you more games. They put more things in the Coliseum. They started hyper feeding you distractions. Like right now in America, think about we're bombing Iran, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many topics you see me send you this week?
A plethora.
You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
When they doing some over here, look at how the news cycle kicks up.
Yeah.
Look at all the stuff we get to talk about.
Yeah.
And when I send you 20 things in a 5-day span, those 20 things is dope. But you got to look over here. That's why I'm very excited and I'm happy that you started the show on geopolitical topics. And we're kind of getting deep first because we love the culture. We love all this wild stuff. We love these conversations. But when we go to bed, when we're walking around in our mind, we're not thinking about what's happening in this culture. We're thinking about what our society is.
Yeah, we're thinking about reality and what's going on in the world and the future. And, a lot of things that I think about, like, I don't like living with uncertainty, fam. That's something that I really like. I like knowing and setting myself up for the future to be successful. And right now in the whole world, it's a lot of uncertainty going on. And my fault, Black McBain, for misinterpreting what you said. You said a substitute good. That's what he meant to say, man.
Yeah. Hey, well, I will say this. Salute to Black McBain. I'm about to make him a moderator on my channel because him, Carlton Way, Jason O, I got some guys, I got some people that if I go live at 3 p.m., 3 a.m., if I'm in Jacksonville or I'm in the Shaolin Monks, these guys going to tap in, comment, talk. I could be streaming a wallpaper drying and doing backflips, and these guys going to run the chat. So I just want to say, yo, Black McBain, Carlton Way, you moderator badges is coming to y'all soon. Really probably today. So thank you. Yeah, I want to shout out them guys. Yeah.
Hey, you gotta reward the people that been, standing on business and supporting your channel and all of that too, though. For real though, fam. So who is it? So we're gonna read Carlton Way comment. He said, "You're paying for the process of the food and the water, but I see what you're saying. LOL." So he was talking about the God's resources and the racism. God's resources are limited. Racism is everlasting.
Yo, that's why I love when we do YouTube, because it's always gonna be people like this is just gonna let y'all know, like, dog, listen, man, I hear y'all talking all that good stuff. It sounds hot, but you know the game, you know what it is. Get down and lay down, man.
Where you see that at? Where you see?
No, well, when he said the God resources are limited, but racism never lasts. What I'm saying is, like, we can be cooking on like some high vibrational positive stuff, but we always going, and it's not even a troll. We always got somebody like, hey, what y'all saying sounds hot, but y'all know what it is. And that's what this comment means to me. Like, yeah, we can talk about God, but y'all know that race, kind of what I said before, racism.
Yeah.
Keeps on giving.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah. And it's people in the world that think that racism is going to end and stop and all of that, man. We're going to be dead and gone people's kids going to be dead and gone. This is going to be folks still racist. Racist, I need to learn how to monetize racism. To be honest with you, though.
I'm being honest. Racism is fun. I done monetize racism a lot. When I do my FBA shows, I'm monetizing racism. You seen that last one? I was going at Jamaicans. I was going at Haitians. And I love racism in America because it's funny. It's fun. Like, I can go back and forth and call Rory Irish slurs. He call me black slurs. And then when we get a Hispanic tether on the phone, me and Rory gonna start getting nationalist and racist. Like, hey, shut your ass up. Me and a white boy gonna beef later. But we getting on your ass out. That's what I love about racism. It's like you can be racist with other people. And this is what I love about it most. A lot of the times, especially here, you can be racist with other people in a playful way, knowing that y'all are still a little bit of racist, but it's like, yo, like it's on a level where it's like, bro, it's not that serious half the time because you know it is. If you can't stop it, benefit from it. I'm not gonna die fighting racism. I'm gonna get the bag pushing it.
Yeah.
Pushing and pushing.
I agree, fam. I got to get my foot in. I got
to listen. The biggest people you see with a bag right now on social media are the racists. The Candace Owens, the Nick Fuentes's, the Tim Scotts. What's the other one? Got the Matt Walsh's.
What's Fat Buddy that be talking about Stephen A. all the time?
Yeah, Jason Whitlock.
The Officer Tatum.
Hey, Troy Terrain. The niggas in the back. They push racism. They push it. Hey, you know what it is? Get down and lay down.
Anton Daniels. Let's be honest.
Anton Daniels. What's that? Conscious Lee. What's the big dude? The Grits and Eggs podcast. Him. Grip. FC Signifier. FD the Signifier. All these. And I want to talk to you. And me and J Doug was talking about this a couple weeks ago. I think all three of us need to develop a show about the Black liberal grassroots podcasters and media that are trying to rival Joe Rogan in the next 4 years, that are presenting themselves as Black grassroots, but are really Democratic plants that are trying to galvanize the Black voices first because they need an equivalent to a media version of Joe Rogan on the left.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta inform me on these podcasts and let me know the research I need to do, because I feel like this election season coming up, it was a different form of media in this recent election season that helped propel Trump. Just the perspective of Trump winning again. And he was going all over the place, but I think they preparing for that next election season. They getting people on their side or whatever, because those folks, those Republicans and stuff, they were standing on business for Trump, and he was everywhere outside working. Yeah.
Real quick, and what's crazy about how Trump and everybody did it is what people had to learn the hard way, especially the Democrats, was people aren't waiting till 6 o'clock to see what Fox News and CNN is going to say. They like Trevor Jackson breaking it down right now at 3 p.m. I'm going to watch Trevor Jackson, and he got a 3-hour show, no commercial breaks. FBJ breaking it down on YouTube right now. His lighting is twitching, the camera freezing, but he's telling how it is. By the time 6 o'clock news and these main media platforms come on, the majority audience already got the scoop and got their perspectives laid out. What the left didn't understand is that it is the media consumption is shifting. We're not even in social media land anymore. We're just in media. Mm-hmm. It don't matter about your followers. It don't matter about how many people you got watching you. It matters about how you can break and shift through the algorithm and get as many voices and people paying attention to you. That's why the last election Trump won, because everybody who was voting, they're on the laptops, they're on the phones. We don't turn on the TV no more and watch TV. People, YouTube is about to take over television. So we talk about.
I was taking a journalism class at NYU online. You know what I'm saying? And
that's dope.
The class is basically teaching about how media is changing and how the old regime of media, the CNNs and the Fox Newses, and the way things are being portrayed, it's out the window now. And they was basically teaching like that you need to be democratic. Speaking democratic, it's like it's weird, because I'm just
now part of political stuff. You're saying like being like a democratic mindset type thing, right?
Yeah, not a Democrat, but a Democratic mindset. So it was just taking this class is interesting about the approach of media because I just started like 2 weeks ago, so it's just crazy about the approach of how they doing media and everything. But let's get on into the foolishness, Florida boy Jay, man. We've been, been a little heavy right now.
Let's take these koofies off for got Jim Jones slap them off our heads. You know the koofy list is out. The koofy list back. The koofy list is back. Salute to Jomo, man.
Now, before I play the clip, because I rock with both of these artists, and me and you are like a decade apart in age. So, in hip hop right now, there's a lot of ageism going on. The 20-year-olds ain't rocking with the 30-year-old niggas. Y'all old now.
30-year-olds ain't rocking with the 40-year-olds.
Yeah, the 50-year-olds ain't rocking with the 50-year-olds. Y'all goat lame as hell to their goat or our goat or whoever it is. Let's just play the clip and get into the conversation, fam.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you a question, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
You smoke, right?
Yeah.
Were you smoking when you said you better than Nas?
I might have been a little bit. Well, as far as let's get this right. I'm way more influential than Nas, and I don't care what nobody say. I know I made a little boo-boo when you talk about the sales and all this type of shit. I don't feel like getting into that rhetoric about where I started and where he started.
You said that bullshit.
But listen, Nas was nice when I was in high school. When I was in 10th grade, Nas came out. Mm-hmm. Nas was dope. We appreciated him. He had a little bit run. But Nas always came up second to Jay and DMX and all these other people. Like,
ain't no shame in that. There a lot of more folks came up second to Tom Brady.
He never had that type of influence on us, except for his first album. I already told you, I used to want to dress like Nas because he had a lot of fresh clothes that the hustlers used to wear and shit, and we used to see him on TV. He had one of the illest albums of all time. And then in high school when he had the barbecue and shit like that. So I'm a real fan of Nas, but he kind of lost me after the movie Belly and shit like that. Like, I don't.
Man, go ahead on with that, Jim.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm being honest. You ask me, I'm being a fan. I'm telling you, the movie Belly was fire, but after that, he kind of lost me. I think we was way too much into the game. Remember how this goes. You ever heard of a Kofi list?
Yeah.
Yo, go back into your history and find out what happened between us and him. You dig? And I'm not trying to repeat history, but don't play with us when it comes to that, bro. We already went wild on them boys. You heard? We the ones that went wild on them boys, you heard?
Hey, Jim.
Yo, and people out here acting like I said I'm gonna bring the Kofi list back. I just told you I'm gonna change man Steph Law. Key, you dig?
Nah, look, I'm put it to you like this, Jim. Hey, bro, you been at this thing, but lyrically, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you.
Yeah,
y'all
but look how you
with
dress.
Nas.
Look how you dress. You don't even be in the same places I be in. And the
But
things
I can be in the church house. You can't F with Nas lyrically. I don't know who told you that. Now look, I know you on that good stuff, but you're not seeing Nas. You're not seeing Nas, bro. Let's be real.
You got a bunch of 40 and 50-year-olds in their panties because I said I'm better than Nas.
It don't matter.
Look at you. Look at you.
Ain't nobody from Dipset gonna take you over Nas. Nobody from the Diplomats but you.
I got Hold on, Jim. Hold on.
That shirt too tight.
Hold on.
That
Jimmy.
You want to go back to I really mean it? I really mean it started. We could go back to the history, bro.
For you to even
say
that,
bro. Don't do that, bro. That
shirt
be sticking up for Nas.
I got a question.
Let Nas stick up for itself and meet me in a booth for something if we want to do something historical.
He does not.
I love that shit, bro. I love that so much. I love seeing a New York dude and a deep South Georgia dude go back and forth with the trash talking, man, because it's a cultural difference, but it was like the way they was hitting, like Jim Jones saying, look at you, you don't dress like me, you don't be at the place I be, and Shan Sharp say, hey man, I don't care if I'm in the church house, you ain't messing with Nas. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was extremely crazy, man. The ageism is crazy to me about the difference because Shannon Sharp down there 60 arguing with Jim Jones, and Jim Jones' take though about being more influential. I wish he would have broke it down in what way he feels that he's more influential than Nas, because I know which way that the people might perceive, but I don't think in totality that he's nowhere near light years more influential than Nas, fam, to be honest with you.
And the thing that gets with me is like, Jim, you got washed on stage by the Locks. You were there. You ain't when it was washing you didn't tell DJ, hold up, let me do my hits. Let me change, because you knew. Nas, we got a 10-year age gap, right? I'm 32. I remember I think I was like 19 years old. I was in college in Orlando, and I was with my Asian homeboy, right? And we was riding the car for basketball, and he was like playing a mix. And it was the first time I heard It Ain't Hard to Tell. I love Michael Jackson. Human Nature was my favorite song of all time. When I heard that song for the first time, I had goosebumps, and I felt like I should be ashamed of myself for being on this earth almost 20 years and never hearing this record. I have never felt like anytime it's points in my life to this day where I'll go to a Nas album, I'll go to a deep cut, I'll go to Second Childhood, I go to You're the Man, I go to certain Nas songs where it almost moves me to tears.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of the message. Like the one he wrote about Khalees on that Life is Good album, like there was the song Stay, the one he had the guy sample on.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Like, or the Car 85 he dropped on Kings. It's like Nas is the prodigal son of hip hop. We watched Nas as a kid to a 56-year-old man, and he is the antithesis of a storytelling lifespan of maturity and growth.
And high quality music, that substance, this whole, and he ain't 56. I ain't gonna let you do him like that though, because at the end of the day, it's a small age gap though, Florida boy Jay. Like niggas be thinking that I'm old as hell, but I'm really not that old like that. I don't feel like I'm that old. And to be honest with you, it's just a 3-year age gap between Nas and Jim Jones, fam.
Yeah, 151, 148. Like Jim Jones, like, oh, Nas, when I was in high school, Nas dropped. And you was still a bum running around with Cameron. You ain't pop off to another 12 years. And my thing is this. We know Nas B-sides with, bro, we know the Street Dreams remix with R. Kelly. Yeah. I don't even think he put down, I don't think that was just a single. I can't name you 3 Jim Jones album titles.
Me neither. I ain't never listened to a Jim Jones album in totality except his debut. And what's crazy though is like that Ed Hardy, the BB Simons and all of that, the chains hanging off and that was that really influential to people?
Boy, you talking to the right one.
I know I get fresh too now, fam. So this is the conversation I wanted to have.
I'm letting you know. I was in New York. I went to Harlem to shop summer of 07. I'm talking about I get monies out with 50. I'm talking about balling is fresh. I went to the store, and this is when I knew up north was different. This first time I seen Ed Hardy. I got Ed Hardy shirts, the jeans, the bedazzled trucker hats, all that. And I came down to Chrome Hearts. I came down to Jacksonville, Florida, and kids and grown men could not get Ed Hardy for another 6 to 8 months, right? Jim Jones, when it comes to fashion, is one of the most influential because he's the one who brought in the tight nipple hugging shirts and the bedazzled jeans. Like when it comes to fashion, Jim Jones to me is top 10. Like I gotta put Jim Jones up there with like Run DMC, with like any a little like he, because we give Pharrell, because we give a lot of credit to Wayne and what he brought. All Wayne was doing was rocking Pharrell and Dipset attire. Yeah, you know. So when I say that, because of pre-internet and how New York was always early on the fashion, I will say Jim Jones is in the hip-hop aesthetic Hall of Fame for how we dress, how we curate our styles. Absolutely. But outside of that, musically, no. And he can rap. I feel like he watched Pusha T when they had their little back and forth a couple years ago because Pusha T didn't respond. You know, I heard that, and I heard you and Star on the show talking about that recently. I feel like, what you think about this though, because you from the era where niggas got 24 hours, you know, you got to respond quick and all of that. Me, I'm from the era where niggas didn't even respond if you was the little nigga. If I feel like you little nigga status, I ain't got nothing to say to you, fam. Like, go ahead and entertain your fans. Is that behavior has changed in this era and in this time? Is that looked upon as something that is not, you know what I mean? It's nothing no more. Okay. I would say I'm living in the era where you got to have a quick response, but I'm from the era where Shorty Low dissed T.I. and a couple months later, T.I. stood in front of Bowden Homes and dropped What's Up, What's Happening. I'm from that era where it's like, hey, you can say something. I know he got something cooked up. I'm not worried about when it's dropping. I know he got something to say to you. So me and you kind of from the same era where it's like, yeah, I don't expect a diss tomorrow when he dissed you today. And I don't like it. I feel like a lot of diss records get rushed when you're willing to respond too quickly. Like, I like the what's up, what's happening approach where it's like, okay, he said something. I may talk in interviews, but my next single, I'm going to be in front of his hood. We're going to throw a party, and I'm going to be shooting shots the whole song. I got a video. I got a rollout to it. We come from low-key around the same era where, like you said, Takeover came, and then we didn't get Ether till months later, but nobody was beating down Nas's door being like, where's the response?
Yeah. That's a whole totally different time frame. And I got a question to ask you, but I want to read this comment first because you of that era when Lil Wayne was cooking, people was perceiving him to be the GOAT. I think that's your age group. But let me read Miss Mickey's comment. She said Pusha couldn't respond. UMG was suppressing him. Was he signed to UMG, Miss Mickey, or was he signed to Def Jam?
But see, Universal Music Group and Sony Music, couple years, back when we were growing up, you had a lot of subs. You had sub record labels. You had independent record labels, just like everything else in the world. Capitalism sucks up all the small labels, and now you have like Sony and UMG and Industry. You got 3 labels. Now, if you Def Jam, you Atlantic, you Capitol, all these fall under these 3 labels. So that's why, like, Pusha T and Drake are both under Universal Music Group.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Kendrick, as much as we say he's independent, he has to go through Interscope. So it's like what she's saying is, I think, a little true, where it is like, these guys are in a way signed to the same companies. So we might have subsidiary labels that help us push and get things across. Like for TDE, right? They got Doechii, but we're going to push her through Capitol because they can curate her look better. We have Kendrick, but we're going to push her through Interscope because they get what he's doing. So a lot of times, you have these labels like TDE or QC and everything, but depending on the artist and their artistry, we're going to shoot them through certain higher labels who kind of have the budget to push their creative process.
So really, these labels are just middlemen. Def Jam is just the middleman to Universal. TDE just the middleman to Universal. OVO is just the middleman to Universal. Cash Money, Universal. It's dang, that's crazy. So they all are intertwined with each other. So if Pusha T would have responded, it wouldn't have been in his best interest.
No,
because the label's best interest.
Right, because what Pusha T and Malice been saying is like ever since Pusha T dropped Story of Adidon and Cook Drake, not only can't I put out music, you guys are taking every song I got and put it in like your music department and combing things through a fine-tooth comb and tell me what I can and can't not do. Now, let me relay it to us as content creators, right? You know how YouTube works. Say we curse or use a copyright or we do something that goes against the violations, right? All of a sudden, instead of our work just shooting in the algorithm and get pushed, now they're taking our work, slowing it, throttling it down to run it through the sensory and the algorithm and the words and the phrases. And as a content creator, you've probably been hit with like, little things that, because we're learning, right? You can tell, doesn't it kind of stifle, hamper, or doesn't make you think too much about how you're going to produce content, knowing that every time you drop something, they're going to go through it with a fine-tooth comb. So now my creativeness, I'm basically working one hand tied behind my back.
You got to minimize your creativeness. You can't really go all the way in and be passionate and just be assertive as you want to be, because some people will be like, how he got 5,000 subscribers, 7,000 or 10,000 subscribers, and this video that he uploaded only got 30 views. They suppressing it. And you might not even have seen it until 2 weeks later. They suppressing it by not letting the algorithm push it out. When you become a content creator too, it ain't even about the subscribers to me, to be honest. It's about the recommendation from YouTube. If they ain't recommending your show to people on their homepage, then at the end of the day, you really can't eat like that. And then you gotta abide by the guidelines.
Or like what they'll do with what I don't like what YouTube does is like say like you are a growing like you like got like 400, 500, 600, you know, you're before monetization, right? They'll push you. They'll push your content to the point where you can get monetized. But this is the trick. Once you get monetized, once you're up for the monetization, then they review your page, right? They'll review your page and be like, oh, your content is just redistributed content that's already on here. So now you're denied. But you done got me to the point where I should be monetized, and you didn't say nothing to me this whole time. I was going to get monetized. Now that I'm at the point to get monetized, you wait to tell me, hey, the things you're doing isn't, you know, conducive to our monetization program. Therefore, we got to stifle you, we got to stop you, we got to cut you at the knees. And that's pretty much what we see a lot of times, where it's like, we have a lot of great content creators, but the issue sometimes with these platforms is that they'll deplatform and platform people they want to, but a lot of times it's like they'll set you up to fail because nobody's really telling, unless you got like a you or a star or people who are experienced, nobody's telling you, hey, take that down, remove that, say this, say that, and then you'll mess around and get demonetized, and you're trying to figure out how you can fix it, but it was by accident, and you're not talking to, you can't call YouTube and talk to another human and be like, hey, yo, I'm just an inexperienced content creator. I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah. I can relate to that. And, you know, that's why I started doing things the way I do it. Sometimes I'll put the YouTube video up and share it and use that as a talking point or whatever, though. But I was telling you, for your show, since we co-collaborating, I wanted to create the imagery so it'll be our own. It won't be nobody else's. So when y'all see, when I pull up clips and things, this is just some game that I want to give to people that's watching the show or people that want to participate and be content creators. Instead of just having a screen on the side of you, man, rip it out, screenshot it or whatever, and put your own graphics around it, because it becomes your own creativity and they can't hit you with the copyright. So that was just some free game I wanted to give y'all, man. Absolutely. And since you in the best of both worlds in the age group, not trying to stay on age group.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
But I wanted to stir it to a little bit of Lil Wayne. We don't have to stay on it long because I got a clip. What did Lil Wayne, was Lil Wayne impactful in Florida? Was he the people that surrounded you? Was he the GOAT, or was he
God? He was God. Listen, Lil Wayne from my era, when I grew up, know who Lil Wayne was to us?
Oh, talk to him. Kobe.
That's who Wayne was to us. Somebody like what Wayne was with Cash Money was like Kobe with the Lakers. You got drafted to the winning team, but you the kid in the group.
He was the
right
player.
You was a franchise. Remember when Shaq left and Phil left? That was when Juvie, BG, Manny Fresh left, and it was just Wayne. Like it was just Kobe and Lakers. And you seen what they did. They started like with Kobe scoring and Wayne rapping, they started having a generational shifting output of points and records and songs that was never seen before. Wayne, we give 50 Cent props to the mixtapes, and we do. But Lil Wayne was the greatest rapper alive at a point. We want to talk about all these rapper runs. I can't tell you what year Jay-Z ran a rap game, but I can tell you the years, not years, Lil Wayne won the rap game. A lot of rappers don't even have a milli. This man dropped a milli and came back with a milli on steroids with 6'7". Like a lot, like who could out top something like that? And it wasn't no gimmicks. It wasn't like niggas auto-tuning. He was rapping. You may not like the metaphors or his style, but Lil Wayne was on everybody's song. If you thought you had a hot song, Wayne took your beat, made it his song. We stopped singing. Remember when Swag Surfing came out? Yeah. We sung that for about a good 13 days till No Ceilings came out. I can't tell you who sung that song, Swag Surfing.
I can't neither, to be honest with you. And you know what's crazy about the song Swag Surfing, though, fam? I wish I owned that song, because that's the song that I think get more play than any song, period, in hip-hop culture. Not to switch the topic or whatever, though, but every football game and all that shit, that Swag Surfing is out of here, my guy.
Or real quick, like, remember when Beyonce dropped Upgrade You? Mm-hmm. Wayne took that beat on the Drought 3, and that's his song. We know Jay-Z came out with Show Me, like when Jay-Z dropped Show Me What You Got, right? That was Jay-Z reintroduction, like, hey, I'm on retirement in the rap game, right? Mm-hmm. The day Wayne took over the rap game, to me and my brother, was when we heard Wayne Show Me What You Got freestyle, And he was like, I'm not. He was like, you know, I'm LeBron James if he's Jordan. No, I'm more Kobe. I want range for my performance. Like the way even Jay-Z said, when I heard Wayne freestyle on that record, I walked out of the studio and I had to take a walk. That's what Hov said. Because Hov knew. Hov knew. So we can look at Wayne now. We be like, oh, Wayne ain't got it. This, and that. Bro, I don't care. And then I'm going to keep it a buck. Wayne's rapping on his album is still Wayne's rapping. The beat picture, the song structure, the production, and the mixing the features are terrible.
Hold on. Before you get into it, let me play the clip because I was trying to lead you up to the current Lil Wayne because you know I'm gonna lead you up to it. I got the clip and everything of his children, but I want to say before we go to it, you know, T.I. was in that era also. He wasn't Wayne. Jeezy and Gucci was in that era also around that time, but they wasn't Wayne. But let me play the clip and shut up though. You know, I'm a little bit older. I was player hating on Wayne at that time. So
I feel you.
You said Cardi 6 is trash. That's fine. That's what you want to say. But let me tell you something about my father and Cardi 6. This is what I hate about you kids. The fact that y'all can get on TikTok and do a fucking dance to it, that don't mean that it's trash, babe. Okay? The fact that you can't get on TikTok and do a little 1-2 little viral moment for it, that don't mean that it's trash, babe. My dad was talking real shit. It's stuff on that album that you can hear in 2K, in games, at fucking malls, at all type of stuff. It's universal, my love. Y'all need to take y'all minds out of the TikTok world and get to the real bag. Whereas my dad is a lyricist, babe. My dad really talks shit. So if you can't understand it, please move silent like the GM lasagna and get the fuck out of here. Thanks.
Lil Wayne or Drake?
Lil Wayne. My dad wrote.
Who's better, Lil Wayne or Drake?
Lil Wayne. My dad wrote most of the shit, so I mean, on God, like if it wasn't for my pops, then it wouldn't be no Drake. Like for real. I mean, it probably would be a Drake, but he wouldn't be where he at now.
Why is kids defending them, fam, against the internet riffraff? Why is kids?
You know why? Because what I'm seeing, which I don't think a lot of people are going to give this perspective, when I hear his kids speaking out, I see a reflection of a terrific father, a great dad, a wonderful provider, because there's a lot of these kids that are grown enough that have rappers for dads that don't come out and speak on their behalf, that let their fathers get trashed in the media, or they even help do the trashing themselves. To see his daughter, to see his sons not only speak up, but speak to his catalog and his lyricism shows you how not only as involved he is as a father, but how even though they have a proximity to their dad, where Lil Wayne is just their dad, he's normalized, they are still in awe of his talent. And his daughter wasn't lying. Now his son was misinformed because Lil Wayne wasn't writing for Drake like that. Drake was low-key writing for Lil Wayne. Like that song, I'm Single, Lil Wayne put out, they have a Drake reference track where Drake did that whole song. So I feel like, Wayne did a lot for Drake, but I think his son was a little misinformed, but I'm going to give his daughter props because his daughter was right. If y'all can't do a TikTok dance, if y'all can't, go viral with it, y'all don't sit with the music long enough to digest it as listeners. Now, against what she's saying, dude, it was a elephant horn on these beats. These beats were terrible. So
his team ain't around him no more. Engineers, none of that really. Producers.
Matt Main is doing doing the Young Money sports thing with Travis Hunter and these other people, and he even said that when the album dropped, he said, "Hey, listen, dog, I'm not really seeing the project out that Wayne's doing, and so don't look at me crazy." And I do feel like I said, with Wayne, he's never been the guy for strong structure to beats. Because think about his peak, their mixtape era. Those were songs that were those were beats that were already hits that he took. He really never put a chorus on it outside of flipping it. And then those are his songs. But if you look at his albums, chorus-wise, some of these songs are great, but they were structured. Like Babyface wrote songs for Cardi 3. You know what I'm saying? Like he had certain people that structured production, songs. Kanye had people structured, produced. Manny Fresh, structure, produce songs, hooks, bridges, first verse, second chorus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Wayne was able to come rap in pockets, freestyle, do his thing, and dip off. Now that he might be more hands-on, or he has people that aren't complementary to his artistry, you start to see a disconnect from his lyrics and the presentation of the music as a full body of work.
You know what's crazy about you saying that too? You give me a perspective and a thought process that Lil Wayne is similar to a freestyle or a battle rapper or whatever though, because one of his most popular tracks, A Milli, that's just him going in. It's no structure to it. It's just a beat and him going in. And most of the time when you have people be able to curate songs for you, to create a structure and tell you to get in this pocket, that's when most of your creativity come out good. In hip hop, people actually do need a team of people to make good quality stuff though. But this album, Carter 6, I've lived with it now. I feel like it's a decent album, but in the climate and in the era that we living in today, people have to be banging on the initial listen, fam. Like folks don't give things time to develop. Like even in sports, basketball, football, you know, folks want to check right now. They don't give things time to develop no more. And I
They
think
want to hop. Yeah. I'm
People
listening
don't-
now. Keep cooking. I'm listening.
Now people don't live with things like when you think about the NIL and football now, they want to check now or they going to the next school. When you think about hip hop now, and if the album ain't that's why folks are starting to call albums classics and they just heard it twice. That's a classic already, but that's cap though, to be honest with you though, man. It's just why
You know what?
why do you think it's like that now? And is it because we're in this microwave TikTok era, this 30-second, 60-second short era, and people's attention span short? Or what's your thoughts about
I
that?
can't say people's attention span is shorter. The quality of music is going down because not only don't we have any music programs, we don't have any kids growing up in the church. We don't have any kids growing up in music programs. We don't have any of these people like we don't have artist development. We don't have A&Rs anymore. You just got people making songs on their laptops and dropping them. So you just have a bunch of unorganized noise. When we look at Lil Wayne, this is the Carter 6, right? Real shit. This is Carter 6, right? Instead of you grabbing all the rappers that you influence, you should have like Playboy Carti has a song on his album called Like Wheezy that's literally bigger than any Lil Wayne song he's dropped in 3 to 5 years. You see what I'm saying? So what you should have did, Wayne, his team, call up Carti, call up Future, call up Young Thug. You have created a generation of children in this rap game, and instead of grabbing BX the Plug and Bono, you should have had an album that had features that were an ode to your catalog, your discography, and the inspiration that you've put on to the rap game. You should have been remixing records you've done before. You should have took like Wheezy, had a remix, had Carti on it. You see what I'm saying? Like Playboy Carti's whole rollout for his last album was like Carter to Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
You would have people cosplaying you, and you look right over them and drop some bull. And my thing is this, Wayne, the theme of the Carter 6, if this was the finale, it should have been like, you know, when we have our musical tributes and there's a bunch of artists that do these artists' songs, that album should have been a musical tribute of all the rappers, like I said, the Futures, the Kendricks, the Drakes, like I said, the Cardis, all these guys that have shaped their aesthetic as a version or a variant of Lil Wayne should have been on that album, should have been remixing old mixtapes, old Carters, old songs, and maybe 3 or 4, couple posse cuts. But Wayne, this album should have been a celebration of what he did to the game, not trying to still be new in the game. Because you're a legacy act at this point. We want to see you as much as we love Prince and Michael Jackson, well, if they do a concert, I know you got new material, but we want to hear Purple Rain. We want to hear Thriller.
Yeah.
Like Hove. I love if you drop a new album, but I want to hear Reasonable Doubt.
Evolve, man. You got to evolve. That's one thing that people don't get credit for nowadays. Like evolving with your fan base, growing with them, not trying to cater to the youth and talk about drugs and being geeking and pills and all of that. And Wayne is my age, man. He 43, 44, something like that. It's just that you got to evolve with the times, and I feel like he didn't evolve with the times. He's still living in Carter 3 era.
Right, and my last point would be this, because that is what you just said, evolving with the times.
Mm-hmm.
You know that picture that it's like Kendrick in the middle, Jay-Z on the left, and Nas on the right,
mm-hmm.
and all black. The reason why those like the greatest of all time living is because they mature with their music. Like when I was telling about Nas, how Nas is 51 years old, and we want to hear 51-year-old raps from Nas.
Facts.
Right? I want to. Kendrick tells you, I went to therapy. I realized I like violence and being evil to my ops, so I'm going to double down on that. I am not your savior. We love hearing Jay-Z say, yo, it used to be about pimps and hoes, but now it's about buildings and artwork. That's why Jim Jones can't hold a candle to Nas, because Jim Jones, you are considerably older than how you are presenting yourself, and your lyrics are not presentable to how you rap. And you could say, well, what about Pusha T? When Pusha T raps about drugs, he's not rapping about really the work. He's using the work as a reference, as a morality compass on how you should carry yourself in dark situations. You see what I'm saying? Like Jeezy was able to gracefully bow out, because remember Church in these Streets. Remember that song, Win, My Nigga Just Win? Jeezy matured off of the white tee with the snowman to a business suit. So a lot of our favorite rappers, I might have froze up on the screen, but I hope you guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah, we can hear you crispy.
Okay. What makes a lot of our artists GOATs and great is when they can still mature, when it's like it's album number 6, 8, 10, 12, and we are looking forward to what you are saying at your age. That's what makes it GOAT. That's when your catalog ages like wine. We're not like real. This is all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it this. When Nas goes on tour, I want to hear the King's Disease just as bad as I want to hear Illmatic and Stillmatic, because as much as we see Pac, Nipsey, a lot of our GOATs die before they're able to mature. It is a pleasure and a blessing to see a grown ass man tell you what it's like to be a grown ass man.
We have to allow for people to mature, because hip hop is actually a young culture. Just a couple of years ago, it turned 50. So I feel as if like this culture, we don't need to just age folks out. We should want somebody to successfully turn 70. He still be fly. He still be healthy. He's still making quality music at 70. We should want that, so the culture can continue to evolve, so somebody young can see that it can be done. You know what I'm saying, fam? Let's read a few comments. So
I'll read them. Miss Mickey Jones, salute to you. I've listened and tried to live with it, but the only thing I took away from it is that he's a proud crackhead that F's over the people he works with. I can see what she's saying by that. Let's be real. The transition is hard for an artist.
Okay, I'm gonna read this one. Oh man, I'm late for the class, man. You was late for the class, Oliver, man. It's time to tap in. And you see the number up under Florida Boy J. We accepting callers. I don't know how many we will accept, because we got a few more topics, and I know time is limited for this episode, but we standing on business and we handling the business. Let's get back to it though, man. Been up to the chat. Okay, let's read this long comment, man. Blesses up FBJ and TJ. So evolution and growth are foreign concepts to these young niggas who don't have older influences in the home and don't expect to get old themselves. Damn, that was a mean one right there.
I mean, it's true, because prime example, right? Not only what's really happened in our society is that look at the age Martin Luther King died, 39. Look at the age Tupac died, 25. Biggie died, 24. DMX, like a lot of the people we hold in Nipsey, hold in high regard, we never get to see to become old ass men. We never get to see age out. Like DMX, we never got to see him grow old. We seen once DMX started dropping music that was more conscious, that was more of a higher vibration, they start throwing crack on him, and then he wiped off. So what I'm saying is, like, they don't know, or like you said, Will Smith rhyme like a Y. And I will say that new song Will Smith has, that I Love Pretty Girls, it's cool, and I think it fits Will Smith's aesthetic, and I think we need to stop trashing that. But I think my main point is this, that now we don't get to see people age out in the times where guys should age out gracefully. We don't give credit to. We don't sit here and give Ludacris his flowers knowing Ludacris can come on our live right now and kick a 16, and he about 100 M's up. We don't give Ludacris his props that he can go to Milk America Mall right now and with a boombox and a microphone and start rapping Move B, Get Out the Way, and everybody who's in there, black, white, old, crippled, crazy, 8 to 80, gonna rap with him. We don't give those guys props.
Nelly and Ja Rule and all them boys like that. The history, you know, it's crazy to see that people don't appreciate history in all forms of culture, even in sports culture and just intellectual culture and American culture in general. People don't want to invest their time into learning about the past or even appreciating the past, not just appreciating it. Let's get into something else, man. Let's get it. We just do 2 more topics. You got the time to do 2 more topics?
I got time to cook as long as you want to cook. I told everybody that want to hang out there. I'm like, oh, listen, I'm podding, so whenever I'm done podding, I'll link with you. But listen, we can go as long as you got time, bro. I'm cool. I'm
okay. Okay. The finals tonight, the last game 7. Let's get into some sports for a little moment. Game 7. Who you got, fam?
I got the Indiana Pacers. You know why? Because Rick Carlisle has pulled out a defensive scheme that I haven't seen him pull out since 2011 NBA Finals against Miami Heat, where they play a high zone that picks up the offense mid-court. Because see what OKC started doing game 1 and game 2, like earlier in the series, is that SJ will come up court and they'll have Chet low-key following him and setting up pick and rolls mid-court, half-court, whoop, right? So what the Pacers did was play like a press zone where all the driving gaps, the zone switches and blocks them off. He implemented that defense in game 6. That's why, remember when Indiana went on that scoring run?
They beat the brakes off OKC.
It was because they were picking them up full court in that high zone. And when you got past that high zone, the defense of the Pacers were able to switch into those driving gaps, and that was causing SGA, the other guy, Williams, to not score, not be able to get the fouls and the missed shots and be inefficient, because once you pick up that high on the court, it's hard to start running offensive sets. Once you get picked up.
You can't get set up as like a miniature full court press, basically, though.
Right, a full court press that turns into a zone once you get towards the arc and past mid court.
Yeah.
So strategically wise, the adjustment Rick Carlisle has made, I don't know if OKC and their coaching staff can adjust to Rick Carlisle's adjustment.
Mm-hmm. And Rick Carlisle actually is the better coach also.
One of the greatest of all time. Yeah. One of the greatest of all time. Top 10 all time to me.
And I agree with Ali said. I think the last game changed the momentum of tonight's game. I got Indiana winning. To be honest with you, I thought OKC was going to win it after January. I said they was going to win it. They got the best team and everything, though. But now that I look at Indiana's team, their roster, their bench in totality, I think that they got the better team overall. The Pacers do. And I see them coming out winning this game also, though. But you sent me something, and I'm trying to lead us somewhere about ring culture and getting rings and winning and
I'm about to fry it
up. Let's get on into it then, man. I'm gonna stop talking and just play the clip.
I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport and why it's the A-all, B-all of everything. You sit here and tell me, Allen Iverson and Charles Barkley and Steve Nash, are fucking wasn't unbelievable. Like, oh, they can't be talked about or discussed with these guys is because this guy won 1 ring or won 2 rings or won, like, it's just weird to me. It's like saying Peyton Manning can't be in the same room with Brady or Mahomes because he only has 1 ring. They don't never discuss that in their sport.
Right.
Or telling me that Dan Marino is not the greatest slinger of all time, or he can't be in the room with those guys because he didn't win a championship. They don't discuss those things, I don't know. Did Barry Bonds win a World Series? I don't think so. I don't think so. Barry Bonds never won a World Series. So. You can't sit here and tell me that he's not the greatest baseball player to ever touch a bat. I mean, Jerry West, I think, went to like 9 straight NBA finals.
Right.
And was only able to win one. Right. And he's the logo of our league. Yeah. So you can't sit here and tell me that, okay, well, because he only won 1, the guy can't be in the same room with the guy who won 2 or 3 or 4. Like, why not? This guy, he's our logo.
You know what, man? You know what this is? This sounds like diversity, equity, and inclusion to me, fam.
First of all, I want you to go first. I just want to say a special shout out to a big bro, inspiration of mine, a mentor, somebody that I always can be able to lean on for information. Mo Facts, my guy. Salute. I tell Mo Facts every time. If it wasn't for how he came on the Star Report and started cooking and becoming a personality, I don't think I would have the confidence I had at a certain point to call into the Star Report and do my own thing to get where I'm at. So if it wasn't for Mo Facts opening the door, I don't know if I would be here talking to you. So I always want to say respect and props to Mo Facts, big bro right there, man.
Salute to Mo Facts. You know, I may not call in to Star Show that often or whatever though, but I'm tapped in. And I'm tapped in and subscribed to Mo's personal channel, who he do the show with. I forgot the guy.
Aaron Curry. Adam Curry, I think it is. Yeah, Adam Curry, yeah.
Dope brother, dope show. I'm in the Carolinas with the brother, man. Salute to Mo Facts, man. A dope content creator that always have a message, man. And if he want to call into the show, man, he see the number, man. We would love to hear his perspective on any other topics. The Fat Joe, the Wheezy, the Pusha T.
Or the politics, because when we get to politics, Mo Facts, you move out the way. Mo Facts be going crazy on the politics. But I want to know what you think about what LeBron said with the other loser ass nigga Steve Nash.
You know, to me, they trying to create a culture of acceptance when, you know, it's about competition and greatness and all of that and winning. Winning is what people want to celebrate. Winning is what deserves to be celebrated. Even though individualism is cool and everything, or what you contributed and what you did and how long you played, it's cool though. But we want to win as a team. And I feel like LeBron is at the stage that he never see himself catching up to Mike. Nobody is going to catch Mike in the winning aspect, because when it comes to Mike, people are never going to forget that he never lost, fam. He never lost in the finals, fam. And LeBron is trying to include people. The Steve Nashes who robbed Kobe for
MVP.
Robbed Shaq for
MVP.
You know, it's just that I don't agree with what LeBron is saying. And it seemed like some DEI type talk.
I feel like this. LeBron, you were the ring chaser of your generation. Like, you talk about ring culture, but if you felt the way you're speaking now, knowing that your door has closed, you would have stayed in Cleveland. You would have pulled a Dame Lillard. I'm not running from the grind. Now, if Dame Lillard came out and had that speech about ring culture, I'm all the way for it. Reggie Miller, I'm all the way for it. Guys who never won but stuck on a team, I'll listen to you. But guys who left teams high and dry, messed up other teams' cap, manipulated agents and organizations and GMs to get players you wanted, trash players like Westbrook, devalued the game of Chris Bosh. You turn Kevin Love into a spot-up shooter. You start, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you really mess up other players' games and legacies, all in expense for you to be exalted. When a LeBron team wins, it's LeBron James did it. When they lose, everybody else didn't step up. So I think LeBron James, knowing his door is closing, he wants to change the conversation, because what is ring culture? What's the Vince Lombardi trophy if the Packers wasn't wrecking things in the 60s and dominating? What would be the steel curtain if we didn't have 4 rings in 6 years? What would be the Dallas Cowboy dynasty if it wasn't the triplets of Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, and Troy Aikman? We know Dan Marino was one of the most prolific throwers of the football we've ever seen, but we will give Brett Favre's racist ass more props, because at least Brett Favre got the job done. We don't want to hear LeBron talk about ring culture when Steph Curry got championships over you. Tim Duncan got 2 over you. Dirk got 1. KD got him some. You can't tell me you ran an era where other niggas ate off your plate.
I got a perspective. I want you to keep cooking though, but I'm gonna just put this on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as if there's an argument that this is Steph Curry's era also. Don't they got the same amount of rings?
I say it is Steph Curry's era. I know why I say Steph Curry's era? Because when the Warriors were cooking, it was a foregone conclusion. They were going to win a championship. They're going to be in the finals. You can't name me 1 year outside of 2013 after the Miami Heat beat the Thunder in 2012 where you were coming into a year saying LeBron James has the best team, he's the best player, and it is a foregone conclusion he's going to win a championship. And even in that year still, Ray Allen hit that 3 in Game 6 to save a chance for him to win a championship. There has never been a time in LeBron James' career where before the tip-off of the first game of the NBA season, we said he's the best player, has the best team, he is expected to win the finals, and he has.
I'm getting ready to be on some Jim Jones time. Because Jim Jones, we just talked about him at the top of the show, talking about he was more influential than Nas. Who is more influential on the NBA? Oh, we got a caller calling in too. I think he ready to cook. But I wanna pose this question, and I'm gonna answer the call first. Hold up. Damn, Guy, you on the phone?
What up, bro?
Let me pose the question first, fam. Let me pose the question. I know you caught my boy, my LA partner tapping into the show, fam. Florida boy. But I'm on Jim Jones time, fam. Who is more influential to the NBA? I want you to go ahead and cook first too, Guy. Steph Curry or LeBron James?
LeBron.
Okay. Now I'm letting you cook, fam.
We can arguably say LeBron would have more rings if they didn't go get KD. They had to go get KD to win them other 2 rings.
Okay.
That's 1. 2, LeBron can talk about ring culture because everywhere he went, he run a ring. He can ship KD somewhere else, just like he's doing in Houston. They will not win a ring. Put Steph Curry somewhere else, he will not win a ring. We forgot. LeBron James ran the East for 10 straight years without Kyrie. Kyrie left and went to Boston.
Yeah.
Everywhere he went. Yes. Everywhere he went. When he lost, who they blame? LeBron didn't do his job. Nope. But he got everybody paid. LeBron, if you played with LeBron, you got paid.
But could you meet when you play with LeBron, was you capable of meeting your expectation, your stats? Was you able to be the greatest player that you possibly could be playing with LeBron?
For me, from what I seen, he made everybody around him better. Look at the team he took. We knew he wasn't beating the Spurs with that team. They still got there.
Oh yeah, that was that team. Yeah.
They wasn't touching. No, that's when the Lakers and the Spurs ran the league.
Yeah. You got a point there.
We know that wherever LeBron goes, he makes the team around him better, the people around him better, and they all get money. Look at Tristan Thompson, still in the league. When he got his big bag when he played with LeBron.
I can name a couple players he didn't make better, but I want Florida boy Jay to respond to you though.
Who did he make better?
This is my retort to the LeBron James pro argument, right? When we talk about Magic Johnson, when we talk about Kareem, when we talk about Bird, when we talk about Michael and Kobe and Shaq, Tim Duncan, right? The real GOATs. When people address them, nobody ever starts on if this, woulda, coulda, shoulda, if this happened, well, let's act like this didn't exist. Well, that happened. We're going to ignore that, and we're going to break. LeBron James' GOAT argument is never about the facts of what he did. The LeBron James argument is always about what happened if this didn't happen, or look at it in this way. But when we talk about the other GOATs, all we do is talk about the years they won, the MVPs, who they beat. Let's ask a real question. Tell me one moment outside of that block in 2016 that is a signature LeBron James NBA Finals moment. Kobe got him. Iverson even got him. Jordan got him. Dirk, Tim, Magic, Jordan, all these guys, Kareem, Hakeem. I'm gonna let you say this. LeBron James, I don't want to hear how he ran the East, knowing how many crappy teams have came out the East post Jordan, just for him to go to the West like Kobe and Tim did and Magic did, and you can't even come out the West. Kobe was blowing away 60-win teams annually. LeBron can't get out unless we get a Mickey Mouse pandemic.
No. We're not. Kobe. How many years did it take for Kobe to win after Shaq left?
What? 05, 06, 07, 08, 09. It took him what, 4 or 5 years to win back to back?
4 years, right? It took for him to get a team around him. He was gonna leave the Lakers if they didn't. He had the Lakers by the balls. Period.
How's that relating to LeBron though?
Tim Duncan played for the Spurs his whole career, and they came out with 5 rings. Okay.
Yeah.
When we talk about greatness, everybody big up Jordan. We know what Jordan did, but nobody talks about Jordan. What happened before he got Scottie Pippen? How he was losing in the first round.
Stop it.
Them first 8-9 years, he was not winning. He wasn't. We know he wasn't because who ran the league then? The Lakers and Boston did.
Let's keep it on ring culture, though. Yeah, that's what the clip.
And this is what I'm saying.
We talking about rings, right? Mm-hmm. So LeBron got 4. Steph got 4. Magic got what? 5, 6? Rings, 6, 5. All right. Bill Russell got the most out of everybody, but we don't talk about Bill Russell. Why we don't?
You know why? Because Bill Russell played in a 9-team league, didn't have any 7-game series, and he had. Think about it, the Celtics had a team for the Hall of Fame.
Why we don't talk about Kareem?
We don't talk about Kareem because before Magic Johnson came around, the Lakers weren't doing jack S. After Kareem went from the Bucks, after he left Oscar Robertson and went to Lakers, the Lakers and Kareem wasn't compete for championships. The Lakers and Kareem wasn't going to the finals. They had to get rookie Magic Johnson. And in the deciding game when Kareem was out, rookie point guard Magic Johnson played center, triple-doubled, won the MVP. The reason why we don't talk about Kareem as a GOAT, because you had to get Magic to win rings. Kareem wasn't doing nothing before Magic, and Kareem had to win his first. Kareem had to win his first when he had Oscar Robertson. So when we talk about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's like a Shaq in a way where you had to have a combo 2-guard or a combo guard ball handler to complement your dominance as a big man to get the ring. I'm not going to stop his greatness, but Kareem wasn't winning rings until he got Magic.
Go ahead.
Kareem won a ring in Milwaukee. Then came to the Lakers.
That's what I'm saying. With Oscar, I agree. But the gap between, this is what I'm saying. I'm gonna let you go. The gap between him leaving Oscar in the Bucks and getting Magic Johnson, we're talking about mid to late 70s. The Lakers were virtually irrelevant until they got Magic Johnson. That's what I'm saying.
Now, before you go, guy, I want you. I'm gonna pose the question to Florida Boy Jay because you already said LeBron. Florida Boy Jay didn't get to answer the question. I want him to answer the question. Then I want you to respond and wrap everything up. And I appreciate you supporting me and always calling into the show, my boy. Thank you, fam. But Florida Boy Jay, who is like the Jim Jones? We was talking about Jim Jones. Who is most influential in their era? Steph Curry or LeBron James?
Steph Curry, no doubt, no question about it. Steph Curry has broke the game. Steph Curry has broke the society of basketball. He's broke the physics of basketball. We're seeing 6-year-olds pull up from 30. Because you know why? Because you know why he's influential? Same reason why Allen Iverson was influential in our era. When you see somebody that is a normal human size do astronomically physical things, when you see Steph Curry pulling up from 30, 35, kids aren't looking at LeBron thinking, I'm going to be 6'8", 6'9", dunking on people at 270. They're like, hey, I might top out at 5'10". I might top out at 6'1", 6'2". But guess what? If I get this shot right, if I take 300 jump shots a day, I may not grow another inch. But guess what I can grow? This goddamn shot. So Steph Curry is more influential because he's more relatable. Like when Allen Iverson was more influential than some people say a T-Mac or a Kobe or Vince Carter. Because not everybody can do a windmill duck at 6'6". But everybody can be 5'11", 6 feet, 6'1", normal height. We can all dribble. We can all have heart. We can all take it to the lane. We can all get our speed up.
Yeah.
So when you are just like rappers, influence ties directly into relatability. And I'll leave it at that.
Talk to him, guy.
I say LeBron is more influential is because of, I mean, we see him everywhere, right?
Commercials.
We see him everywhere. We've been talking about LeBron for the last 30 years. Because he was 15.
Face of the league, ain't it?
Face of the league. Been the face of the league. You know, Sports Illustrated as the chosen one at 16 years old, 17 years old. Scrutiny. We don't want to talk about that. And then you add social media. I give Steph his props. Steph came in the league and he changed the game. He sure did. And guess what? He broke it. He broke the game. Yeah, he did. He broke it. He actually messed it up, if you ask me. Because he can shoot the ball. Everybody else can't. There's not a lot of shooters, you know, besides him, Clay, Ray Allen, Reggie Miller. We've had these people come into the league that can shoot the ball. He's just small. They can shoot the ball.
I'm sorry, I'm bucking my eyes like there's a plate of butter biscuits. Are you saying that since Steph Curry took over the league in 2015, 2016, that the game went from Dwight Howard back to the post centers to now you got 7-footers pulling up for three? You got a game that has shifted into a Steph Curry style game where everybody in the league from point guard to center is now chucking threes. We don't see a bunch of big old swole muscle guys running in the lane like that.
The game changed, right? So you got to understand this. We had
Who changed it, though? Who changed it?
We had these centers, right? Dirk changed it. Dirk honestly changed the game. He became that big man that became the shooter. So now you have to go out. You can't. There's no inside no more. It's outside. The game went from inside to outside, which is going to go back to inside.
I believe it.
It's finna go back to the game of the two big men in the middle. That's where the game finna go.
I gotta see it to believe it, though, guy.
It goes to these spurts. Watch. When Steph leaves, when LeBron leaves, when KD leaves, we'll see where the game is at and where it's gonna go, and we'll see it's gonna go back to the two big men.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not disagreeing. I'm actually gonna agree with a certain part of what the caller is saying that. I'm going to agree with him, but it's going to kind of make my point too, but it's going to kind of give him credit for kind of encapsulating both points, right? Okay, yes, Steph Curry revolutionized the league with three-point shooting, right? But when he pulled up Dirk, not only Dirk, we got to look at guys like Kevin Garnett. We got to look at a lot of these big men who were kind of tall, small forwards when they first came in the league, 6'10", 6'11", and transitioned to power forward. But KG, Dirk, a lot of these guys, a lot of these stretch forwards did become long-range shooters. They had a more versatile game, so you were able to open up the floor a lot more, right? I will agree with that. I remember the Orlando Magic in 2009. They were Dwight Howard played in the inside, and you had a bunch of shooters surrounding him, right? So I will agree that the big men did shift the game. I just feel like Steph Curry, because of the floor spacing his shot created, opened up the game to where coaches and players kind of seen that not only the three-point shot can count for more, but the mid-range has kind of disappeared over time. We don't see a lot of Rip Hamiltons. We don't see a lot of stack houses. We don't see a lot of guys running off the pick and roll for a mid-range anymore. We don't see the mid-range specialists like a DeMar DeRozan is an anomaly, where in the 90s, a DeMar DeRozan was the standard two guard.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, most definitely. Hey, guy, land your plane. We got one more topic. I got to get up off of this thing, man. I highly appreciate you supporting us, fam. tell us, give us your perspective so we can move the conversation forward. Thank you for your time, fam.
Oh, no problem, bro.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
but I agree with what he's saying. The game has changed. Steph and them came in. Steve Kerr took over Mark Jackson team, and
Yeah.
took that that coaching style he learned in Chicago. He ran and dealing with the Spurs too, and made it his own. So I agree. Steph. I'm not taking nothing from either one of them. Both of them to me are influential players because they both are great and they both have changed the game. Just LeBron been in it longer.
I got to put the hate and spin on it to cause division to have the conversation, though, God. That's my job, my guy. Hey, I appreciate you, family.
Oh, always, bro. I appreciate you, man. I just, we're gonna tap in.
Yes, sir. All right.
Hey, real quick. Lastly, even to add to the call's point when he was speaking about LeBron's influence, I'll say this: LeBron's influence was more about player empowerment, branding off the court, being able to put your tentacles in the game outside off the court while you're still on the court, being an entrepreneur. LeBron kind of, from my eyes, he took what Jordan did and ran with it. And LeBron's influence to me is more of empowering players to build their own brands and to sustain themselves regardless of their performance off the court. So I think LeBron's influence has came in on the business side.
I agree with that statement too, because they both are influential. And we got to read Mo Fact's comment too, because I think that's a good comment. I think they both are influential, but it's influence in different ways. The way that LeBron changed the game, I'm actually not a fan of that neither, because I don't like niggas jumping around from team to team. Stay down till you come up. That's my opinion about it. And but he empowered them to go get that bag. And if you got to switch teams to go get that bag, go get that bag, because the bag is mandatory. It's necessary. You need that bag, to be honest with you, though.
Yeah.
But Mo Fact's comment said, will LeBron have the same narrative if LeBron had more rings than MJ?
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't, because LeBron James has been a narrative switcher and spinner and manipulator from day one. LeBron James was a ring chaser. Now he's saying, why are we in this ring culture? LeBron James jumped teams, dismantled franchises and salary caps, and like we said, threw players under the bus to chase this guy behind me, to chase Michael Jordan. He has been in the league twice the amount of time these guys have, with half the amount of rings. We don't want to talk about longevity stats with points, rebounds, and assists. No, we know about championships. I don't want to hear LeBron James talking about ring culture when he has participated and perpetuated ring culture since he's came in the NBA. If he was going to speak on that, you should have been in a Cleveland Cavalier jersey for the last 20 years to say what he said.
I'm going to let you choose the last topic, because one of these topics is going to get us probably close to the 2-hour mark. But I can name the two players that I thought LeBron impacted their career in a bad way. That trajectory would have been higher if they wouldn't have never teamed up with him. And that's Chris Bosh and Kevin Love. Kevin Love was balling before he teamed up with LeBron. Yeah. And Chris Bosh was balling also, man. That's just
And real quick, you know why their games changed? Because LeBron never developed a consistent jump shot enough to keep his traditional four in the paint. Because LeBron never had a jump shot and he had to drive to score, that means you have to move one of the two big men out beyond the arc. So that's why Chris Bosh became a jump shooter. That's why Kevin Love in Minnesota was getting 20 rebounds, 20-point games, and then went to Cleveland and had to become a spot shooter. And I'll say the last person was Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook can't be Russell Westbrook when LeBron James, they have the same exact game. They're ball dominant.
Yeah. They both can't run to the hole at the same time and steamroll players to get to the hole. They is the exact same player. And the topic, you choose which one topic you want to talk about. Do you want to go with the Whoopi Goldberg to keep it political? Do you want to go with the Cassie recording? We also got the Angela Simmons, and the other topic that we got to talk about is Lord Jamar returning to DJ Vlad. Him also saying that him addressing the media talking about him going to DJ Vlad. Which one of those topics you'll want to discuss?
I think we need to do Lord Jamar, DJ Vlad, because maybe we can hammer that out the way like in 5-10 minutes and do like a quick Whoopi Goldberg cook. But let's go ahead and do the Jim Jones Lord Jamar thing, because that's super relevant to YouTube.
Okay. And I got 2 clips for that also, because it was a 5-minute long video. So I chopped it up in 2 clips to let them say one part. We can cook for a minute, then let them finish it off with the other part. Let's get to it.
Peace. Grand Rising. On this Wisdom Cipher Day, all being born to wisdom. I hope you had a great Juneteenth, as did I. I'm reporting live from my backyard right now. So recently, I went on Vlad TV, and some people were very happy about that. Some people were disappointed. I'm hearing that people made videos, showing their discontent and all of that. All I can say is my obligation is to civilize the uncivilized, okay? My job is not to preach to the choir. And many times you need to go where the uncivilized people are at. Now, originally, this whole Vlad boycott started because he didn't apologize to Minister Farrakhan. Well, fast forward 5 years later, he's apologized. I know what I said about Mr. Godfrey. And yeah, I guess that looked bad. Me saying that about him and then changing my mind. But guess what? As a grown man, I have the right to change my mind. Once certain information, more information comes into play about certain things that I'm not going to get into the full specifics of, but I have more clarity on the situation as a whole. And that's the decision I decided to do when looking at the big picture. So anyone who's a true supporter of me, who actually subscribes to my channel, who actually, donates regularly and gives super chats, if I disappointed you, pardon me, I love you, and pardon me. Anybody else, y'all are just writing on.
You ready? Because this is my problem. See, Lord Jamar is the worst example, actually the best example of the worst parts in the Black community. Lord Jamar wants to be all peace, power, what's the science, all this. We got a boycott for Farrakhan. You got guys jumping out the window. You got me coming on Starport. We boycotted, jumping out the window. We all gonna boycott Vlad, just like Tariq Nasheed. Oh yeah, we're gonna boycott Vlad, and you going right back to Vlad, and then laughing at us like, oh, y'all ain't in it, y'all don't understand. No, you couldn't get it cracking on your own. Now you walking back with your tail between your legs to Master's Plantation, and now you try to clown us like we wasn't riding with you this whole time. And this is the reason why niggas like Lord Jamar and a lot of things in the pro-Black community don't ever get traction, because listen, I ain't never met a pro-Black nigga who had money.
Boy, you told me that on the phone the other day.
I told you, everybody pro-Black until the bag come or until the bag get took. Now it's you niggas ain't peeping, y'all don't understand, y'all a bunch of this, that. And it's like, Lord Jamar, you was the one who told us we had to boycott. Why is a non-FBA like Godfrey standing on business harder than somebody who's a 5%er who knows the math? And you got I'm FBA or I'm half FBA, whatever Lord Jamar is. You are a disgrace to the Black community. You are doing reprehensible things by making us villainize Vlad for something justifiable just to go back under Vlad's nutsack and act like all the things you pushed that was anti-Vlad, because it didn't work out, because instead of, you know, having a more professional stream and becoming a better content creator, you're too busy sitting on camera, getting high, stumbling and fumbling, and wonder why your numbers isn't growing, wonder why your things is falling off, because you know today's math, but you don't know the math on social media to get your bag right. And stop acting like you was in your backyard. We ain't seen that backyard since. That wasn't your goddamn backyard. That was Airbnb you rented with you and them boys. So stop.
With Vlad money.
With Vlad money. Vlad cut you a check. Actually, that was Vlad's backyard. He let Lord Jamar hang out at before the interview. That's where he was. He wasn't in his backyard. He was in Vlad's backyard, and he cut the grass in that backyard for Vlad let him get in the pool.
And then he had to hit the blunt because he was tired from
And then when the camera went off, Vlad told him, "You got to get out my pool, nigga."
Yeah. Oh.
Hey, Vlad didn't know he was recording. He turned the camera off when he seen Vlad coming in the back. Vlad said, "Hey, what are you doing?" Camera go off.
You can't be smoking a roach having big money talk neither, though. You talking like
dog. I listen, as a fellow smoker, I know people's money by the roaches they got in their home. See, I ain't saying I got a bunch of money, but you can ask my friends and family. They'll come over and grab a clip and burn on it. My uncle be like, "Yo, you threw that out?" "Yeah, because we got more."
Yeah.
Or it's fire. You ain't smoking a fire down to the roach. You smoking Gorilla Glue down to the roach because you trying to hold your breath long enough to get lightheaded to feel high. Nigga.
Yeah.
The hell you talking about? Man,
You know,
niggas got me tripping out today.
I'm gonna tell you what I feel like about Lord Jamar's. He felt like people wasn't standing with him. People didn't leave Vlad because of what he said about Farrakhan. Everybody ain't in agreement with why they left or who they left, and everybody ain't supportive of Farrakhan neither, though. Even though I like some of the things Farrakhan be saying, and I'll be interested in hearing him speak, but at the end of the day, I wonder what, when Godfrey and Lord Jamar left, did they think that they was gonna hinder Vlad, hurt Vlad, and make people leave the show? When they see that Vlad platform grew without them, it kept growing even without them, and he probably was thinking like, you know, shit, I can't get these niggas to leave. Boosie and them still over here getting the bag. Everybody else over here getting the bag. I might as well go on back because I can't grow my platform.
You know why Lord Jamar's a professional bum ass nigga? Because when you left Vlad, I'm pretty sure between you and Godfrey, y'all had more capital. You had more cliche in the industry. Then guess who? Art of Dialogue. Now, where was Art of Dialogue during this boycott? Art of Dialogue was just getting cracking. Art of Dialogue was on the come up. Did y'all go to Art of Dialogue, a black platform, and help that grow to rival Vlad? I don't remember. I don't recall. Did you even make your own platform in the mirror of an Art of Dialogue and rival Vlad? No, you didn't. But a random dude, Art of Dialogue guy with less resources, less industry connections, made his own version of Vlad TV and usurped Godfrey and Lord Jamar to where y'all, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't want to hear why you went back when it was people with less resources who created something you couldn't create on your own.
And you
support about Black Power, you should have Art of Dialogue. Everybody should just went over there.
You know, I don't understand people that has been in the industry, has seen quality be created. He has been on Vlad for 20, 30 episodes and can't create quality on their own, or he might just don't want to. Some niggas be lazy though. At the end of the day, he has those connections to me in the music industry to where I don't even have none of those connections and create something way more quality than what he's created. It's just interesting to see that he had to go back, and like you said, they had more capital. That Godcast show was actually good. It's just that they never linked up and got together and made it official, you know?
Yeah. And like I said before, man, like I just hate when the black community stand next to Whitey, right? Whitey does something that we know Whitey gonna do. And when you upset, you want everybody to be mad at Whitey.
Yeah.
And at this point, between him and Tariq Nasheed, I ain't boycotting no more white folks on behalf of them. Because you got us looking crazy. You got us coming on the platform saying, hey, yo, we not supporting Vlad, this, and that. Some of us I would like go on Vlad. Nigga, I would like go on Vlad. You know, but it's like You know what I'm saying? But it's like you got these niggas who sit right next to the white folk, get done dirty in their eyes, and come back to the plantation after they leave the house and tell her, well, Massa did me wrong. We got to boycott Massa. Well, nigga, if you ain't going to build your own plantation, why are we going to run off this one?
Yeah, it wasn't no we when you were spending that $1,500 from the Vlad episode you participated in. It wasn't no we. It was you. So
and those are nigga pennies.
Yeah. That's exactly what they getting from them shows and them episodes, man. It's just that I would go on Vlad to get my perspectives and my thought process through to the people because, you know, it's certain things that I would like to discuss and I would want to question him. I would want Vlad on here for me to be able to question the things that he's done and the career that he's had. But Lord Jamar, man, he, you know, before they boycotted Vlad, I used to like Lord Jamar a whole lot too, though. He used to be saying some things and he used to be impacting the culture and impacting him. And Godfrey was doing a good thing on Vlad channel at one point in time.
They were really they were really some of his best guests. And look, with Lord Jamar and Vlad conversation used to remind me when Academics and Joe went at it, where their relationship is tight enough where you can see Academics and Vlad get challenged, where they won't even allow themselves for other people to challenge them. They won't, you know what I'm saying? When you know you want to see somebody get held accountable. Mm-hmm. It seemed like when Lord Jamar used to go on there, he would hold Vlad accountable and Vlad would allow him to, you know what I'm trying to say? Like have that back and forth where when we want to get at Vlad, Lord Jamar would kind of do it for us. And Vlad would, because of, you know, Vlad's good for production and content, Vlad would allow the optics to look like Lord Jamar is, you know, taking me back to the woods. Sure, Lord Jamar is kind of, you know, going, you know, cracking me over the head. But when you remove him, you remove the Godfrey. When Godfrey's most important thing to me was his pro-black and his Pan-Africanist conversations, or where how he used to call out tethers, or what they did was you robbed the greater good of your message being platformed because you want to be fake pro-black for Farrakhan, who in my eyes, FOI and NOI are just controlled opposition for the white power structure to keep niggas in line, just like the Southern Baptist Church organizations.
And the NAACP.
Absolutely. Don't trust any black organization that's led by people of the pigmentation of me and Trevor Jackson or lighter. I'm sorry. If it's not a dark-skinned man running the black organization, I don't trust it. I don't trust light-skinned niggas being the head of black organizations. I'm sorry.
I wish I had my notes of something that Judge Joe Brown said on the episode I did with him, but he showed me a website about follow the finances or follow the funds or something. It's a website to see who is funding these organizations, and you'll know what their intentions are when you see who's funding them. But I'm follow the money.org. That's what it's called.
Yeah, remember I brought up APAC? The Jewish Shoe Pack organization for Israel that was funding all politicians and grassroots. That's one of the sites that you can use to look up who APAC is funding as far as politicians.
Followthemoney.org.
Absolutely.
Damn. So you already knew about that. I wasn't spilling.
Hey, I be tapped into Judge Joe Brown, dog. I be tapped in. I tap into him and a lot of our elders because they too old to kowtow and tap dance for a check. They just gonna tell how it is.
Yeah, Judge Joe Brown, he be spilling. He was on. He did my show for 4.5 hours. I was in her yawning and everything, but he was spilling. I couldn't let him get out the screen.
That nigga was teaching. Hey, that was like when you go say what's up to your granddaddy, and that nigga just start ranting. You like, damn, I gotta go. This nigga won't stop talking, but he kicking knowledge.
Yeah, I was learning all type of stuff. I got 6-7 pages of notes from that episode. I need to clip up some more of them points that he was making though. But let's get to the last topic of discussion, man. And Whoopi Goldberg. I'm going to play the clip. We're going to converse about it. And then, you know, we're going to get up off of this thing. I appreciate your time, Florida boy, Jay.
Absolutely. You already know.
Let's get it.
And yeah, it's slow.
But let's just remember too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, We have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
I'm sorry, but where the Iranian regime is today in 2025 is nothing
used
compared
to
to the
just
United
keep
States.
hanging black people. So
It is not even the same. I couldn't step foot wearing this outfit in
That's
Iran
not what
right
you
now.
mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit into Iran right
Listen,
now.
I'm sorry.
Well, they wear like
listen,
no, I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you, as
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
Yes,
it is up to them.
And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good, whoever does it. It's not good. So that's why I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black.
Not for everybody.
Not if you're black.
Guys, don't go to Tehran. Do not anyone at this table should go to Tehran.
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But yeah, I know that. And we all know that. But every day we are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood? They are not big deals, and I don't mean to say they're not big deals to you, because that's not what I meant.
And they are not doing well there either. They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated. They cannot property. They cannot leave them.
I'm talking about here.
Nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That is no one's intent. But I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country and people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way. Not everybody feels that way. Listen, I'm sorry. You know, when you think about the fact that we got the vote in 1965.
Okay, they don't have free and fair elections in Iran. It's not even the same universe.
They can't go out of their house. The women.
You know what? There's no way I can make you understand.
Let me try something. It's like try to reverse roles with a black person in this country, let's say, because I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Just try to understand from their point of view. From that point of view, this country does not do them well. Does not go for them.
I completely acknowledge that, but
we shouldn't compare atrocities.
If you're talking about Iran, of course, is doing worse things, but relatively speaking, it feels bad.
Okay, but I think you know that Iran is significantly
I guess we're going to come back and talk.
I was in
we're going to come back and talk more about
this.
I'm gonna let you cook, Florida boy Jay, but Whoopi Goldberg and the other lady and the whole View show, even when they talk about women topics, immigration, feminism, black stuff, it sounds like a whole bunch of victimized people that never done nothing wrong and they only just took what happened to them and they just spewing bullshit, man. That's how I feel about when I heard topics from The View, because that was trending. Everybody was creating content around that, and her comparing the struggles in Iran to black struggles and even the white woman's conversation, it sounds just like some victim bullshit though, fam. But what's your thoughts and take from what you heard?
First off, the comment, one of the funniest comments I've seen so far is MoFact said, "Y'all mean to tell me Lord Jamar sold out for $1,500? That is funny, because that's around my budget. I'm gonna sell niggas out for. You got a good $1,500 for a nigga. That's close enough to rent. I'm gonna sell a bunch of niggas out for $1,500. Shit, that's too close. That's how I know me and Lord Jamar around the same tax bracket, because my roaches is bigger and we selling out for the same price. $1,500. This is my point with what Whoopi Goldberg said. Like I said, first of all, Goldberg is a Hasidic name, right? It's a Jewish back name. Last time I checked, you're black, number one. So I don't want to hear you speak about pro-black topics when you were sitting next to Ted Danson doing blackface.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear you say you pro-black when you perpetuate one of the worst things in society of black people as a whole with the color purple. So coming fast forward to what she's saying, the fact that you are not intellectually sharp enough at your old dusty Book of Job boring ass age to cook these white Karens on that stage on a regular basis shows me that you're only there for optics, not intelligence. The fact that you got that goofball, half-bred, butter biscuit, Sunny, whatever her goofy name is, that deranged Latina lady over there with her mouth tight and silent. She ain't barking on nobody, but she want to be black every 3 days of the week. See, that's my problem with shows like this, where you think the complexion is for the protection, but it's really for the deflection. You got a lady like goddamn Whoopi Goldberg that can't even articulate and can't even tell that lady, hey, yo, shut your white mouth. Okay. Yeah. You're like, these people are just a bunch of babbling mammies. You got to understand that Iran has one of the highest women graduate rates and female IQs in the world. So what are we talking about? Just like when it was Ted Cruz who couldn't tell you the ethnic or the population of Iran, but you out here trying to make decisions for Iran. You got a bunch of people in America that want to demonize places they've never been to. And we want to talk about slavery or the things that happen in Black America. You cannot compare it to Iran. Our struggle is an individual struggle. And for the fact that you cannot cook these white Karens that are a quarter of your age at your big dusty book of Psalms born ass age, Whoopi Goldberg, shows me your lack of education, your lack of research, your lack of professionalism. Because when we have these conversations about these topics, you know, just like me, you do, we have pre-show conversations about the topics that we're going to discuss. If you already know the angle of the person that you're going to be debating with, you have to have your bullet points to dispute the angles you know they're going to come at you with. So for the fact that you're mammy ass and so caught up in emotions and you're not even educated enough to cook these young ladies that you are old enough to be their mother, shows me, like I said, you're not there for the complexion, for the protection of the complexion. You're there for the deflection.
And she went like that lets you know she wasn't prepared neither, because she went directly to slavery. You don't never go talking about slavery. Talk about what she's talking about. Stick to the topic. Stick to what's going on in Iran and everything that she's mentioning. Don't put it back on us and talk about civil rights. And then she said, we are concerned if one of the kids go outside running and all of that. I ain't concerned. She shouldn't be concerned. Why she is playing a victim when she's a multimillionaire? She's financially rich. She doesn't even live the life of the people who are concerned. So it's just crazy, man. Let's read a few topics and a few comments and get up off of this thing. I want to read Black McBain's, man. He said, I've been to Iran. It's not as bad as they say. The citizens don't think like Americans. Their society wasn't designed for a white woman. It was designed for Muslims with a shared culture and history. Wow. That's a good comment, my brother. Thank you for that. She's basically saying, black folks, you don't have missiles exploding over your head every day, so shut your mouth. That's what the white lady was saying. Is that what she's saying? Is that what she's saying?
In a way where she was trying to act like Iran is just a terrorist-ran state, and that is just the white westernized capitalist fear that they put on anything that isn't the doctrine of democracy the way America sees it. Like, everybody don't have to go the way you go in life. Everybody don't have to subscribe to the same things. If the Ayatollah told them hoes, hey, yo, put a head wrap on your head, tie your face up. If you want to travel, I'm going to give you a basketball and tell you to walk around the house. You ain't about to go nowhere. You know what I'm saying? That's how they run over there. They pimp-handed strong over there. The Ayatollah don't play. You walk around, want to have your hair flowing, we going to grab you by the neck and throw you in the van and put you on a milk carton box. That's how things, I like the way they run it over there. And I feel like this. We can't have a monotone society. We cannot have a one world society where everything is to the liking of the westernized ideologies. We did not grow up in places where there's earthquakes. We did not grow up with our families being murdered and genocided like some of those people in the Middle East. So I'm not going to put my white American eyes, my black American eyes on things across the world and judge them based on how my society works.
Yeah, that was bad on her part because I should have made more of the clip than that, where they was talking about what was going on in Iran and they was talking about immigration and everything, and she went directly to slavery. But let's go to MoFax's comment too, man. Let's just keep reading the comments and reacting to the people that's in the chat and everything. Then we can get up off of this thing, Florida boy Jay. But does Black Americans have a standing army and on our way to getting a nuclear weapon? No, we are worse off than Iran.
That's facts. That is facts. And if Whoopi Goldberg would have just called MoFax or hired MoFax for a fact checker, maybe she could have cooked them white women. But like a lot of these old dusty niggas that don't have any talking points besides I got hit with a water hose because I forgot my raincoat, I got bitten ass by a German Shepherd, or I got my ass whooped on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, they ain't got no talking points. Because all these old coon niggas is got victim stories about people that they knew that went outside while they was inside watching them get their ass whooped because they ran in the house for a raincoat. If Mo Facts can think about what he just said in about 30 seconds and articulate and write it down, why can't a person as powerful with the resources Rupi Goldberg cannot just hire a professional black fact checker to help her cook these white women to come on her show? Because every time it's a clip of her arguing, she's always getting cooked for the most part.
Yeah, she do be getting barbecued. In Iran, though, is it one nationality or is it because I've never been. Is it a multitude of races like in America? Because we can say that America's nuclear weapons is also protecting us by default. You know, it ain't meant for that, but by default, just because we're on the land of America and everything, though, but they're not specifically ours. And what I want to
they're not Americans either. Hey, listen, the nukes aren't Americans either. We just found out yesterday they belong to Netanyahu in Israel. So we don't even have our nukes. So what are we talking about? Even white folks don't have their own nukes.
Yeah. But America has nukes, though.
Israel has nukes that America has built. America has no nukes. Because if America had nukes, we would be able to say what we're going to do, what we won't do with them. But because Israel tells us what to do, Israel owns the nukes. If you said you want to go in your refrigerator, but you had to call me first, or I told you what to go in there and get, is that my food and they're yours?
That's your food because you telling me what to do with them. Even though, so you said you done followed the money. Followthemoney.org. You already done said that, so let me be quiet.
I don't want us to get banned or anything. We gotta keep it light. It's a day show. What Star says, research show.
Research. So that's what I want. I'm glad you mentioned Star name because the point I want to conclude the show and everything off with is that I was watching the show. I think you was participating on this show too. And Mo Fact's comment made me think of this, but should black people still fight in American wars? He said we can enroll and receive the benefits and everything though, but should us as black people still fight in wars? What you think about that? Because I feel like we shouldn't.
I feel like we should, because at the end of the day, certain men, no regards to race, creed, or color, are bred to be the warrior class. Every race has their warrior class. Every race, every group of people have people that are born and bred to serve in the military for generations, for eons, for centuries. I don't look at military, even though there is a lot of racial elements in it. I don't look at black people serving, Asian serving. I look at, bro, this is your land. You better go out there and serve before yours gets took. And if yours gets took, who's going to be the first person they take it from? You.
Yeah.
So you have to, I don't say you have to go serve, but to me, I can wave my flag proudly next Friday on the 4th, whenever 4th of July. I can speak as a proud Black American FBA because my grandparents were in the Navy, because I helped one of my former girlfriends get to the Air Force, because in our lives as Black Americans, not only have we benefited from our family members being in the military, but we have also helped our friends and our loved ones get to the military. You see what I'm saying? We know people who are younger than us who are retired from the military, who have their benefits and their stuff together. So I do feel like a way for Black people to economically advance over the last 20, 30, 40 years has been through military service. And a lot of them come from homes where if they didn't go or go to college, where would they be?
Was you on that show? Because I think we saying something different too, though. Did you hear that show or did you participate?
I don't think I was on there.
Yeah, because he was saying you can enlist and be a part of the military, but I think he was saying don't fight in the wars because we don't receive the same benefits. But I think it might be an age thing because nowadays we do see receive the benefits in similarity to other races and everything. But back then with the GI Bill and all of that old type of stuff, they was the state was giving people certain I can't even, you know.
Like black guys come out from the military, we wouldn't get the GI Bill grants, we wouldn't get certain things back then. White people would, other races would. So if you want to talk about the historical context of why, I understand that. But being in a modern age, being a indirect beneficiary through my bloodline in the military, or helping friends and or loved ones get to the military, and them being able to retire early, and hey John, I'm gonna give something back to you, or hey John, come to my new house. This is my second one. Hey John, we going on vacation. Hey, I'm in Chicago. I'm stationed in LA. I'm stationed in Cuba. I'm stationed. Pull up. Like, I have been able to see people in my life prosper by being in the military. So there's no way I can sit here and say that black people should not go get what's theirs, because a lot of black people that I know around my age that went to the military, I don't know what else they would have done if it wasn't for the military.
Facts. I agree, man, because I got a partner, man. I be player hating on him. He might be watching the show right now. One of my closest partner. That boy graduated. He retired at 39. He living a sweet life. Spending them racks, getting them racks, retired, got all this time, and I'm still out here multitasking. You know what I'm saying? So salute to that, man. And I wish I would have contributed to the military, but that was just a conversation from the Star Report that I thought would be interesting for us to discuss. And we can read more facts, comment, and we can get up at this thing, man. Black Americans can join the military like any other job, but don't become delusioned that we are equal. Nazi prisoners was treated better than blacks war heroes.
Facts. And even with Black and Bang, what he said, we need a lot of strong, disciplined black men who can shoot straight and have core values. Hood, damn sure don't do that. That's a great point where I feel like, dude, say if we did have a race war or had this and that, if we don't have black men who are getting trained in firearms or been put out in the battlefield, if something pops off, who's going to be the Chris Dorners? Who's going to be the ones who can teach the hood, who can come back and be like, yo, we're doing gun training. We're doing militia thing. We're doing tactical work. We're doing guerrilla warfare work. Where are we going to get the, if it's nothing but white folks going to the military, if something pops off, the only people who's going to be run out is YNs with switches who's going to be shooting everywhere and not aiming. Hey, who's going to be the snipers? Who's going to be the niggas throwing the bombs? Who's going to be the niggas organizing? Hey, you pop out here, you pop out here. Who is going to teach us how to militarize ourselves if we don't have people experience to do that?
Facts. That's big facts, man. You know, I'm curating the show for when we get off of the live. It's a guy named Robert F. Williams. Have you heard of him? And his story,
Vlad, right? Is he the guy on Vlad? Or?
Nah, he's dead and gone. He's from Monroe, North Carolina.
Okay.
Standing on business, smoking niggas, teaching people. He was the dude. He wasn't for civil rights. He wasn't for unifying. He was a military guy. He learned and went to Detroit and everything. I had a show posted up later on today, man. It's a dope ass show and a dope ass documentary I'm gonna play and give my commentary to it. But he from Monroe, North Carolina, and he wasn't for that unifying shit. He was standing on business, fam. Killing shit, killing clan. Well, I'm being too vocal on this thing right now. I don't want to get our shows and channels messed up. You know what I'm saying?
He was getting the cracking though, for sure.
Yeah. So you understand the point, but I appreciate your time, man. Thank you for letting me be on your platform. And if you on my platform and you subscribe to my channel, make sure you go to Florida Boy J's channel. I'll put a link in the description so y'all can check out his channel, man. This was a dope discussion, a dope show. Appreciate everybody who participated in the chat. Thank y'all for your time, man. Great conversation though, Florida.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate, and I'm humbled to actually be on your platform for us to collab, do a dope show like this. We're gonna keep cooking. I know pretty soon, probably like next week, me, you, J Doug, gonna get a show cracking. So I just want to say, like I said, thank you. We had a great show. I'm pretty sure my audience loved it. Your audience loved it. Hit my subscriber button because, like I said, I'm like less than 100 subscribers away from 6,000. So let's go ahead and let's run up just another 100 subscribers, hit that 6,000 mark before the month is over with. Yeah. And I appreciate it, yo.
Hey man, this was a great conversation, man. Even though we was all over the place we went from sports to hip hop to legal stuff to Whoopi Goldberg. Who would have thought, man? But thank y'all for tuning into the show. We out this thing, man.
Peace out.